Hey guys, a few days off for a bit of a holiday and back home and back at the FTO. So as you can see, the bumper's on, so I've managed to get the oil cooler fitting, which is awesome. Brackets are all mocked up there, and now going to start the plumbing. So don't worry about the oil leaking here. I had all this off to test fit a different sandwich plate. So this is a one-way sandwich plate for the Accusump that I have, and this works fine as is, but when you put a standard, I'm going to call this a 90-degree sandwich plate with a thermostat on it, it just doesn't fit with the FTO. The starter motor is in the way, so that's not going to work. So I got one of them FMIC.eu ones that didn't work, so I've just returned that today, and I've ordered a Hell multi-angle one, so that'll give me a 45-degree off, and I think I'll be fine there. So while I'm waiting for this, I'm going to start just doing all the plumbing and show you what I have to do, because I have an absolute monstrosity to work with. So yeah, I find for plumbing, for me, I need to write down what I'm doing and figure out what I have. So my main parts, so I've got my oil cooler here, I've got the Accusump, which is in the cabin of the car, and then my sandwich plate. My lines are going to run across, draw which is going what way and what we're doing, and then I'll figure out my fittings. So oil cooler uses M22 pieces, so I've got an M22 to -10 for the top. Obviously it's like a vertical is the direction that I have the oil cooler going. So from the top, then I've got a 90-degree coming out. The in is just going to go straight to the sandwich plate, so that'll have a direct hose sandwich plate across, out, and then obviously for the sandwich plate here we'll have a second one for the return. And then this is, guys, wait till you see the absolute monstrosity that I've had to build for this. I might have to space it out to not have it as just one part, but like, get a load of that. They are swivels here, for example, so it's not like a bajillion connections, but you have a hose end, a Y piece, so this is going straight to the cooler with a feed in for the Accusump, and then when we come to here, it's a one-way valve so that the return can go to the engine still, but when the Accusump, when there's a pressure drop and the Accusump is bursting fuel in or oil back into the system, that it doesn't reverse it through the system. So that's why I've put a one-way valve here. I've gone for a Y as opposed to a T, because in my mind this just helps with the direction of flow and reduction of pressure loss, and then there's another hose end. But like, yeah, holy moly. So yeah, that's where we are, and now just going to start working from right to left in trying to install this and just finding out how to route it all. So little tip, yeah, you can put these on anti-clockwise, spin it around on the hose. It's always a pain in the arse, load of effort, but socket on top, set it to anti-clockwise, little bit of pressure, they go on no bother. You know your car's a pain in the ass when you need a bit driver. So got the first hose on for the cooler, went to do the upper one. Where is it? I had a bracket here that the cooler went onto, up in the top corner, and it sat between here and the indicator, which was fine. But then when I went to fit this 90-degree, there was no space for it at all. I probably could get away if I put one of those like super tight forged bits on it, but I'm not sure like such a tight right angle is a great idea on the cooler for pressure drop. The only other option I would have is I could come from here and run a bulkhead fitting in through the chassis rail and out the other side into the engine bay, which would work, I guess. Not sure how much that will affect any integrity. I mean, there's big holes in the bottom of the chassis rails, so probably not too bad, but I'd want to be really committed to make that call. I've shoved it up right up into the wing here, and it can fit, and I can get the bumper on. And actually I have more clearance with the indicator, because that was a pain in the ass. I don't really need indicators is the honest answer, but I suppose here we are. I do have a little bit of concern of how low it is, close to the bottom of the bumper, but I don't think that'll be the end of the world. It's not. I'm doing track days. I'm not like I'm afraid of contact. And then a bonus is this is where my air intake went to the vent in the bumper, or the duct in the bumper, and I would be able to run that again because I didn't have space when the bumper was all the way to the left. So a bit of thinking. I think I'm gonna have some new brackets to put together, but I think we may be getting there, maybe. Give me your 2 cents here, but here and closer to the edge of the bump, with the closer to the edge of the bumper being the risk, or I can drop it down, move it across, and go through the chassis rail. Let me know what you think.